Well, I don't have to tell you what time of day it is, do I? We're just catching the last of the sunset. It's a very clear blue sky, so no fabulous paintings. But look how big the two babies are getting now. Look at that. And that's the smaller one. And there's the big one. Gonna be as handsome as the father. Here's the dad. That's Julio down there leading his carabao. Now I thought I'd read some of the really nice things that were written in this book. And wisdom comes quietly. Hey, how are you?
Good.
So, what's up? Come on, let everybody see how incredibly eloquent you have become since the last time I saw you. Well, he has the most eloquent smile, that's for sure. I had a little diversion there just as I was about to start reading a few of these beautiful pieces from And Wisdom Comes Quietly. And this one, look, beautiful painting here, but there's no point in having that beautiful painting up there if I'm showing you paintings in a book I can show you any time. But it says, what a lovely surprise to discover how unlonely being alone can be. The morning sun, the new sweet earth, and the great silence. When I am alone, the flowers are really seen. I can pay attention to them. They are felt presences. It's a beautiful book. I like this one. It says, you can't have everything. Where would you put it? And here we are. Nothing will content those who are not content with a little. Now, I know this very well. It says, a bag of apples, a pot of homemade jam, a scribbled note, a bunch of golden flowers, a coloured pebble, a box of seedlings, which we just had, an empty scent bottle for the children. Who needs diamonds and van-delivered bouquets? Isn't that lovely? What else? Now I like this. I always like quotes of the beliefs of the American Indian, even though the American Indian was not what Hollywood portrayed them to be. They were not always handsome in the way that Hollywood used to portray them. They were noble and they had their own look, and that was to be treasured in itself. And they also had their own beliefs. I remember that when a boy child was growing up, the family would know that he, at some time or other in his life, would have to become a warrior and would have to perhaps fight for his freedom and for the lives of his family. And so they knew that he could not be cowed, he could not be humiliated, he could not be degraded, and if he had to be told anything, it was told quietly into his ear, quietly. And it says, the American Indian believes profoundly in silence, the sign of a perfect equilibrium. Silence is the absolute poise or balance of body, mind, and spirit. The man who preserves his selfhood, ever calm and unshaken by the storms of existence, not a leaf, as it were, astir on the tree, not a ripple upon the surface of the shining pool. His, in the mind of the unlettered sage, is the ideal attitude and conduct of life. If you ask, "Where are the fruits of silence?" he will say, What are the fruits of silence? He will say, they are self-control, true courage or endurance, patience, dignity, and reverence. Silence is the cornerstone of character. And these were from the teachings of Oyesa, de Charles Eastman Santee Sioux. I often question some of the very English sounding titles and things that we get in reference to the American Indian. And this one, knowledge was inherent in all things. The world was a library, and its books were the stones, leaves, grass, brooks. We learned to do what only the students of nature ever learn, and that was to feel beauty. And so we're almost done here now, so I'm going to close. Maybe we'll get a word of wisdom from one of our resident children. What do you have to say, Talik? Can you come here? What can you tell us? What can you tell us? Tell us something nice. Yeah. Well, can you tell us something that's just a little bit nicer than that? I thought that you were reading a book. How silly am I? It's your tablet. Oh dear. So, what's the nicest thing that you've seen on your tablet? Come and share it. You're a Wally girl, you know that. Okay, would you like to close this video?
Please like, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a good day and God bless.
Right. Thank you, Talik. Good night.